that comes from Unpopular Celebrities Podcast is all unofficial. None of the conversations or comments from us or guests represent the DoD or the armed forces.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
The director of the Security Forces Career Field, Brigadier General Thomas Sherman.
Really appreciate it. It has been a real honor for me to be on Unpopular Celebrities today. I have truly I love watching from the sidelines. I love jumping in, periodically to kind of incognito, listen to what's going on and stuff like that. But I think that what you're doing is like this kind of dialogue. This is important.
Today we have the dynamic, I call her sister in arms. She's a mother. She is also a survivor.
Thank you all for having us on here and doing everything that you do for us. This is the rawest I've been able to be in 13 years. I love it. It's time for it.
So I'm Henry Edwards.
Chris Rogers. I'm currently serving as the 19th Air Force Command Chief.
Jessica Player.
Joe Bass here. Excited to be with the Unpopular Celebrities.
I'm Tish, and a lot of people call me PJ, founder of Life from Military Child.
Andy Gilbert. I'm seasoned by trade, but I'm everybody's Cameron.
Christy Wiener, and I'm an aviation resource manager by trade. I am just like Andy, and I'm a people leader. You don't have to be an airman, but let's just go.
My name is Caitlin Jones Martin, and I'm a master sergeant in the Air Force.
Tom Mendoza, 5th degree master black belt in Shotokan karate, 3rd degree black belt in Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Staff Sergeant Gary Donald, all Air Force basketball legend.
The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Sick is going down. Unpopular Celebrities.
Man, cut that bullshit out, man. Let's go.
I can't get against myself, but
Get you with the auto tune now, baby girl. What?
I'm done. What up?
This brings to the saying, don't try this at home. Like, this dude has gotten out of hand.
He Pete Payne over here.
Yeah, not P-Pay.
What's up with y'all?
So much.
Oh, wrong one.
I'm out here.
My bad.
Okay.
I was testing out my stuff. I'm done.
Okay.
Keep my hands off.
I am doing fine. I just got finished with a long bunch of briefings this week at IMSC, and we're heading back on the road tomorrow to go to Wright-Patterson for a conference for a week. And I am still in my graduate program. So it's been a pretty busy week. And I'm happy to be off today until tomorrow. So I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm good, man. Just in class right now myself. So just bogging down with that. Hitting the gym every day. Trying to get right with that. Mick Williams, hitting the auto tune on him. If you want to hear it again, let me know. We'll put that on again for you. No big deal. Hey, just put it in the chat. Y'all want to hear me flow? Put it in there on auto tune. But
Please don't.
long work
Please don't.
weekend, chilling. But we got a good show for y'all today. We got a different show for y'all today. But Philly, I'll let you take it away so we can get into this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat in store for you. We have a special guest by the name of, but before I say his name, let me give you some of his achievements. So, former San Francisco 49ers linebacker number 50, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 1-time national championship and NCAA college football, and he's also the founder of the Missile Defense Advocacy Alliance. I've worked with him had several opportunities to work with him while I was in Davis-Monthan. He is also the founder of the Youth Impact Sports Program that partners inner city youth with athletes across the United States in different collegiate atmospheres. So he is a phenomenal person, awesome speaker. You're in for a treat. Let's bring him in, Mr. Ricky Ellison.
All right, we just got hit with copyright. Oh, with the
hey, what's up? What's up?
What's going on?
I'm hanging.
What's going on?
Yo, you got the dog in there. He need to be doing what everybody need to be doing in life, just chilling. He is chilling.
It's Saturday, man. We should be chilling.
Absolutely. He's like, he don't care about the podcast. Everybody else should be awake watching the podcast. The dog, the only one that can be knocked out.
That's how exciting you guys are, man. Piling their ass up.
He said,
Is this how it's going to be the rest of the show? Let us know. This is going to be the rest of
Yeah, turn it off. Turn it up. Turn it up, Dana.
Hey, Ricky, go ahead and introduce us to your pups in front of you.
This is Pebbles and Bam Bam. They're about a year and a half old. It's our second set, man. They're great. They're they're like everything you like. You got big chested, low to the ground, powerful, light contact. That's how you like your women, your horses.
Sounds like our defense from the Philadelphia Eagles. We like contact. We get after the quarterback.
I didn't see any of that in that playoff game. I saw.
Oh, you hater!
They laid it down.
Bring it up.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
That was ugly, buddy. That was ugly.
Before we get into that, let's have you introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Me? Introduce myself?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm an interesting guy. I was born not in this country. I'm an immigrant. I was born in New Zealand. I came over here when I was 8 and was a single mom and lived in LA. And she taught at USC, Southern Cal. She's a dance teacher. I was just reflecting on it yesterday because she took me to the football field. I never knew what football was, and we stuck my eye through the fence in 1969 and saw O.J. Simpson play that game. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal athlete. But from there I moved to Arizona, of all places, in a cowboy ranch up in Rimrock, Arizona. And I had a foreman of the ranch, kind of my adopted grandfather. He was a Sherman tank commander for General Patton in World War II. So I got my groundings and the love of the military from him. I was on a ranch that bordered about 1.5 million acres in Coconino Forest. I went to a one-room schoolhouse with one teacher, 1st through 8th grade, about 10 kids, Indians, cowboys. And they took me, my guy there, Marvin Hayes, took me to a Rose Bowl in '72, and I watched Archie Griffin and the Ohio State Buckeyes play SC, and they got beat. But I fell in love with USC. I was like 12 or something. I wrote on a piece of paper that I would start for USC, beat UCLA, beat Notre Dame, go to the Rose Bowl, win that championship, and marry USC cheerleader. Wrote that down. Went back to a one-room schoolhouse, played on Indian reservations my freshman year. Didn't win a game. 3 years later, as a freshman, I was the starting linebacker for USC, the first ever in the history of the school. Beat Notre Dame. Joe Montana was on that team. Went to Alabama, beat Bear Bryant's ass. Went to the Rose Bowl, beat Bo Schembechler of Michigan. Won the Rose Bowl, won the national championship, and fell in love with the USC cheerleader, who's the mother of my 4 children. It is America. It is America. You dream big, you be big, and you live your dream to give your dream. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's a lot more stuff after that, but I want to just leave it right there.
Yo, that's one thing. You write it down and it comes true, huh? You just write down your goals and they come true. You make them come true.
Well, it's more than that, right? You got to set the conditions to win. You got to put yourself in cauldrons that people around you are much better than you are. And you got to be lucky. You got to be blessed. And you got to know who winners are. Winners associate with winners to win. And I was fortunate to be around winners all my life. And from that Sherman Tank Commander, Mr. Hayes, all the way down to my first high school in Tucson, we won the state championship there with winners. And at SC with winners, and with Bill Walsh with winners, and with the military that I've been doing missile defense with for 40 years, winners. So there's a lot of factors that go with that, but certainly courage, certainly, belief, intensity. You got to own it.
Man, it's inspiring already. We just 11 minutes in. We already inspired. Yeah. So you say you won a high school championship. Who was somebody on your team that you remember from high school, or do you remember anybody?
Man, check this out, because I came from a cowboy ranch, and I went to high school in Mingus my first year, played Indian Tuba City in Winslow, Arizona, that Eagle song. I mean, crazy stuff. And then my mom moved down to get a PhD at University of Arizona, and we lived at the top of Canyon, you know where that is, Dan, up at the top there. And my stepdad was the headmaster of Fenster School. And then there was a new high school that was opening up called Sabino. I could see it from my house. That's where Gooey, our Northcom commander, played safety. Hey, by the way, all our badasses in the military, all our badass 4-star generals are damn free safety, strong safeties, man. If we can name them. I was just with Steve Donahue, Gooey. Like, the big boys, can play that game, and I love my strong safeties. But I rode a horse bareback across, like a half mile open desert to go and try out for the football team. I got off my horse. Coach said, "Who are you?" and I said, "I live over here." He said, "Well, you can't play for us." So I got on my horse and rode away. And then I went to the rival high school down at downtown Tucson Amphitheater as a sophomore. Started on the varsity team, and then ended up winning the whole damn state championship of Arizona, the biggest league, my first year. So we had Jim Cron, who was one of the record quarterbacks at the University of Arizona. I think he played in the Canadian Football League, and Steve Dooley. We had about 2 or 3 guys that got in scholarships. But it was a great school and a great coach. It was mostly Mexican Americans, and that was it. It was cool.
Wow. So Ricky, when you joined the NFL after your tenure in USC, did you have any doubts that you had the right talent to be effective in the NFL? What was your thoughts like?
Hey man, if you doubt, you're out. You heard that shit? You don't doubt. You gotta.
Hey, let me drop a bomb for that one. If you doubt, you out. I like that.
Hey, look. At SC, that first, I played that game. My freshman year, the first quarter, I got my left knee blown out, anterior cruciate blowout, medial collateral blowout, and they taped it up. This is back in the day. I played the rest of that game with a torn medial collateral and anterior cruciate.
Good.
And the next year I played a game, I played the whole year out, but also had to have that surgery again on it. So I didn't think I was going to the NFL. Didn't think I was going to play in the NFL. But during that time frame, I had to get a career. And I was in school. My mom put me in engineering, man. I struggle with engineering. I struggle with calculus. But I had to get out of it. I'd be academically ineligible. So I got into this course, man, with Ronald Reagan's national security advisor, 1980. And I get Edward Teller, the damn nuclear physicist, as my lecturer. I mean, boom, boom, and they throw down saying, "Hey, we're going to offset Russia. We're going to offset because we can't put the MX missiles in play. We're going to offset them with strategic missile defense and strategic defense initiative." Yep. So I was at the birth of the critical academic thinking in 1980 as a young sophomore in college, exposed to creating a missile defense system that would break the Soviet Union and that would defend our world, our nation against ballistic missiles with nuclear weapons. So I fell in love with that. So that happened right there in 1980. And just like talking about cauldrons, that was a cauldron of PhDs that were going from that program into Washington, D.C. That's your network, just like the NFL. All my guys on my NFL, my SC team, we had 4 NFL Hall of Famers on my team. Hall of Famers on my team. 2 Heismans. And at least 36 of us in the NFL on that team.
Yeah.
That's some badass stuff. So our practices were more violent, more competitive than any game we played against each other. That's the deal. It was easy to play games after practice and that stuff. And that was whoo, woo, woo, woo. But getting back, I mean, you play at SC, baby. And then you could play any team in the NFL. And then I went to before National SC. It was cake compared to practice I had to deal with on run drill. And back in our day, we didn't give a shit. We had 3 plays. We tell you what we're going to play, and we'll still kick your ass. And we had a very simple defense. It didn't matter. We weren't scheming or demon. We were the biggest, baddest, meanest, fastest, most talented team in the nation. And we played that way. We had 3 offensive plays, student body right, student body left, a dive. We had 2 defenses, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we dominated. But anyways.
And that sounds like some old Tecmo Bowl stuff. You only had like 3 players.
Yeah, exactly. It does.
You get that type of talent now. You can't. We were doing NIL before NIL was even invented.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
So check this out. So I didn't think I was going to play in the NFL. I wasn't worried about the caliber of getting there because I was physically. I had 3 major knee surgeries in college. And so I was all set. I got my graduate degree in strategic defensive studies, and I was all ready to go into the Department of Defense for policy under President Ronald Reagan's administration. So when I graduated, I had the March 23rd famous SDI speech who said, "Hey, we want the brightest, smartest, whatever to go." I was all geared up to go in there. And then, I got told by the Dallas Cowboys, our favorite guys, Dallas Cowboys, my favorite little cowgirls. So Gil Brandt and Tom Landry brought me in for a combine back in the day. This is pre-combine.
Right.
And it was pretty fun. They were asking me about the shuttle and stuff. But then at the end of it, they brought me in and they said, "Hey, Ricky, you're not good enough to be a Dallas Cowboy. Your times or your whatever, your analytics or your whatever you do for our specific All-American Dallas Cowboy linebacker, you didn't fit that. You're not going to play for us. You're not going to play in the NFL." They told me that in my face. So I left that place. I didn't think I was getting drafted. And the day before the draft, Bill Walsh and George Seifert came down and worked me out. I don't know why. They gave me a T-shirt. I said nothing, I mean, the Steelers wanted me to go to free agency, so I didn't think I was getting drafted. So it's the first time the NFL draft was on ESPN on TV.
Oh, wow.
Dudes were smoking and the telephones, all that crap. And I was at a friend's house, and I would be damned. I saw my name go across the screen at the last pick of the 5th round, whatever it was, 4th round. I don't remember what it was. I was ecstatic, man.
Wow.
I got picked to the best team, which was the 49ers. And then really the reason why I got picked was because my teammate for 12 years, Ronnie Lott. And Ronnie Lott played with me at SC for 3 years.
Ronnie Lott.
And he was the captain of the team over there. Yeah. And they convinced me. That's a long story. So I'm just
Ronnie Lott.
Hey, but before I say that, I never lost to the Dallas Cowboys, baby.
Wow.
My rookie year, We played the Cowboys last Monday night game that Howard Cosell ever did, and I knocked Tony Dorsett's ass out. And we pounded their ass, and they were not in the playoffs at all my entire years I was with the 49ers.
Wow.
Kryptonite.
Put your hat on that.
Owned it.
For real.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to all the Dallas Cowboys fans out there.
You got fired up because
Yeah.
the NFL brought me back like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and to Canton, and they had a bunch of high school, 1,000 people, whatever, and damn Gilbrandt in front of me talking shit, and I called his ass out for what he did. I don't know how many thousands of people that he said they couldn't play for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's crazy.
That is.
I don't know. We can go on that with Charles Haley and all that stuff. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Oh, Charles Haley, yeah.
Yeah, because my son,
what
my
you
son
got, bro?
also played for the Giants, the Vikings, and that little hate-love thing with the Giants and the Cowboys too. Not a Cowboy fan.
We got a couple Cowboy fans.
I know
in
the
here.
whole damn U.S. Air Force is almost all Cowboys. All them flags are Cowboys.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
They see those stars, man. It's just they assimilate to the stars on the helmet.
That's what it is. They are some nice helmets, though. They are some nice helmets.
Come on, man.
They are some nice helmets.
This guy, man.
They do.
This guy, man.
I'm kind of wearing Cowboys colors with my T-shirt. Go off.
How's that Cowboys colors? It's like sky blue, bro.
I said kinda. I said kinda.
That's
It's really North Carolina. It's really North Carolina. Shout out to the Hill.
Hey, I'm sorry to all the fans watching this, man, that
Shout out
this
to the
guy's
Hill.
colorblind. That has nothing to do
Not
with Cowboys
colorblind.
colors.
So, Ricky, let me ask you. I think I'm jumping a little ahead, but ahead.
You're jumping over my question, Pete.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Dale. Go ahead, Dale.
All right, I got a question for you, Ricky. Achieved so many accolades, high school, college, NFL, and even in your civilian sector. But what's been one of the failure that you encountered that you overcame and learned from it? I think that's a thing that's how we grow.
I love to fail. It
Awesome.
makes you strong, man. It makes you resilient. It just having to play with 4 knee surgeries. I played a game with a half paralyzed shoulder. You find a way to win. That brings your depth. When you fail, you recognize your weakness and you figure out how to build from that aspect of it. But yeah, we've all got knocked down. I mean, severely knocked down. I mean, it's hard post-career. When you leave the game, it's a difficult transition for a lot of us. Switching into different careers and moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just the more you think about it, you take every day and you make the best of what you got, no matter what happens, and you embrace failure. I welcome it. Bring it. Take it, because it makes you a better man. It makes you a better person to be able to take it, fall, and get up and win. And that's your leadership by doing that.
Right. Love to hear that.
Go ahead,
Pete.
Yeah, we have one of our biggest 49ers fans on here, Nicholas Jackson. So what's up, Nick Jack? We have a 49ers Super Bowl champion on here. So good to bring the two together. Ricky, just got a question. So take me into a 49ers locker room before the game. Back in the day, what is that like? What is going on in there?
Well, I can tell you before that, I played a couple Super Bowls. Before the Super Bowl, let's go to the Super Bowl in 1984, and this is where the epic of the whole world was coming together. This is Silicon Valley. This is Jobs. This is Apple. This is Elon Musk. Everybody was there. This is San Francisco. This is the president of the United States, Ronald Reagan, moving his inauguration out because of that Super Bowl Sunday.
Damn.
This was the undefeated Miami Dolphins, the best offense the world's ever seen. This was in San Francisco, in Palo Alto. And that game was won in that locker room before we even stepped out. And when we stepped out before the pregame, it was done. It was, you could feel it in the warm-ups. That's when you know it. When each of you on that team knows, doesn't matter what they're going to do. Nothing matters. Doesn't matter how bad the calls are, what kind of bullshit they're going to throw at you. Doesn't matter. And that's the sweetest feeling. that to me is the ultimate feeling of victory as a team unit in your confidence with each other that was created over 6 months from the training camp to all the games and different situations you were in to overcome with guys getting hurt. You overcome everything, and that was it. Our locker room was different than the USC was like probably like the Chicago Bears or bronze on bronze kind of crap, New York Giants stuff. We were a cerebral locker room. Bill Walsh did not believe in pep talks at all. Zero.
Really?
He shunned on it. He shunned on anything that looked like Vince Lombardi, Mike Ditka type of football style. I mean, he broke it. Bill Walsh broke away from all of that. Didn't believe in any of that. So our ability to know the opponent is one thing, but our ability to execute with different schemes and be able to disguise and be able to predict and be able to execute with brilliant. And his biggest thing was poise, which is the hardest thing in the world to do, is to make the right decision at the right time under extreme pressure for the right reason.
Yes,
and you
sir.
train that group to be able to do it. Then I don't care how big or how fast or how talented the other team, when you can play like that with decision making like that, it's ridiculous. And then the best decision maker of all time was Joe Montana. The best. So he would thrive. He would thrive in that environment where the pressure was the greatest, and he would lead through it. Decision make, and the whole team. I mean, our philosophy of the 49ers was give him the ball. Everybody, give him the ball to make the decision. And that's what was fun to be on defense. When you're on defense, all you want to do is give that ball to Joe, and the game's over. Game over.
Wow. I'm going to put you on the spot. You played for Steve Young, too?
Steve Young was on the team. Yeah, I played with both of them. What do you
so
want
which one was better, Montana or Young?
Come on, man. Why you
what kind of
how many Super Bowls? How many does Young have? One? Not a chance, man. Not a chance. Not a
Young
chance.
only got, I thought you had two. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, there's some stuff going on back then. If Joe stayed with us, we would have won 2 more.
Oh yeah.
Joe was a different level than Steve.
So
I think question. Joe Montana. Follow-up question. Joe Montana or Tom Brady?
Come on. You go back to that.
Yo, it's a legit question. It's a legit question.
He's got the rules to protect him, and he's got a cheating coach. They cheated.
You heard it here.
He stand up. He was a drop back quarterback. He had the ability to break out of the pocket and do what Joe did to move the ball. He just sat in the pocket, and they built that around him. No. I don't give you anything on that. Not at all.
Hey. So we usually take questions from the audience. So I wanted to
so you
ask
can't even go with me on any Philly quarterback at all. Zero. Ever. Randall Cunningham.
I'm about to say that.
Couldn't even tie Joe's shoelaces, man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
True.
Really? You gonna put Randall Cunningham like that? The ultimate weapon? You know they call him the ultimate weapon.
How many Super Bowls did he win?
That ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's a good point.
What if he got nothing to do with it? That's what a quarterback does. Win Super Bowls, man.
That's a good point.
Hey, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Once.
Ricky, we beat the Niners that year too.
Man, you just got to have a great defense. Don't go where you can't go. Jim McMahon won one damn Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Not so good quarterbacks won Super Bowls. Talk to Dan Marino. Ask him about that.
Throw that question up there, Pete.
Let me go, Ricky. So we got some questions from the audience. So you were talking about transition earlier, how hard it was or hard it is to transition from the NFL to the civilian sector, just like the military to the civilian sector. So we have one of our members about to retire, is scared to death. What's next? What advice would you give them?
Well, I would tell you, because in your military and the NFL, you become the top. Over all those years, you become the top skill set in that skill set that's non-transferable basically to the civilian world. So you've climbed the ladder to the top, right? And now you've got to go to the civilian world and you got to start all the way down at the bottom again. A lot of people can't make that ego transition to go all the way back down to get your skill sets. So that's why a lot of the players stay within the game instead of challenge themselves to start over again and move up, because all your buddies have had all those years ahead of you in the careers ahead of you. So that's one thing. You're going to have to check your ego at the door, and you're going to have to go and earn it. You got to earn it, man. You can't just, it's not given to you anymore, like, because you don't have the years of experience. That's not given to you. So you've got to earn it. And the next thing is you got to think about the skill sets that you've got in the military that's made you who you were, your leadership skills, and have the courage to break away from this defense establishment and try and match those skill sets in the civilian world. It takes courage. It's not a safety net, but you're good at leadership, and every single company place needs leaders. And you've got to have that courage and the tenacity to stay with it to do that. And I would highly recommend not rushing into anything. A lot of people want to rush into, for security, want to get into another job as soon as possible. You got to think this thing through. And the biggest thing you got to know is you don't chase money, man. Money chases you. You got to find what you got to fall in love with what you do. You got to find time, and you should know over the years you've been working what you love to do. So you've got to try to fit now in a civilian, which there are a lot of opportunities to be able to match what you love to do in the civilian world, and take your time, find it, and then surround yourself with winners. That's critical, man, on that to go and be competitive.
Dale, what you think about that, bro?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So what I wanted to ask you, segue into talking about the civilian sector. Can you tell the audience a little about the missile defense advocacy and what you guys bring to the fight with what we got going on with North Korea, China, and Russia, and what people can look forward to once they start reading up more about what you do and your team?
Yeah, so it's there's so many. The defense is obviously underpaid, underrespected, especially in our military. Our military is an offense only, man. You all know it. You all know it. We are dependent on mutual assured destruction. We are dependent on offensive strike. We are completely focused on that. We spend less than 2% of our entire DoD budget on defense. So that's the facts. And we got away with it because we won the Cold War. We played at a JV, maybe freshman level over in the Middle East for the last 20 years. They didn't have any air. They're just coming now with the drones, but they didn't have that threat. So we turned into, capability-based acquisition and told everybody that we weren't going to do this, and we were not threat-driven. So we didn't develop. We still don't have cruise missile defense. The U.S. Army, 0. That was a requirement in 2012. And you're still living on the roles and responsibilities of 1948, where you have the Air Force not defending their bases and the Army defending their bases. You have Navy on land with Aegis shore sites defending land. It's not right. And we got to get our roles and responsibilities correct first. It's a big deal because the Russians, the Chinese, the North Koreans, the Iranians are all working together, and they've exposed that threat, and that's what they're fighting with. Even we have air superiority, we got everything, right? And they're coming at us with drones, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, hypersonic glide. They built that gap. They've got the edge right now, and we are getting our ass kicked on a cost war. So we got the stuff, but they're $4 million interceptor, $2 million interceptors, $400,000, $200,000. We're firing those against $10,000 drones in the Red Sea.
Yeah.
In Ukraine. We got to get it right. We don't got it right. And we got to get this right. We can't defend our forward operating bases the way we should be able to defend them. We don't have enough of this capacity or capability. And Ukraine is kicking ass. And so interesting watching a country like that their physicists, it's like Oppenheimer in our movie. They've created systems, acoustics. Well, cell phone basically is a phone box that can hear, like you can hear anything flying over you 2,000 feet. You can distinguish it, create database, create neural networks, and Uber it to a mobile truck with a 50 cal and shoot these son of bitches down for $20. How about that? We are not right. So yeah, I'm all over that. I just was down with the 18th Airborne Corps Commander. Those are the boys and women that we fight tonight anywhere in the world tonight. And I was in Brussels 3 days ago with NATO headquarters, Poland. We got to get this right. And your air bases and all that Air Force capability in forward projection, how are you going to sustain that fight if you can't land your aircraft or maintain it or load them up? How are you going to do that in the Pacific? How are you going to fight?
Oh.
So, and everybody doesn't want to put any skin in the game. And they've got to slow down, just like an NFL roster, baby. You better pay some D linemen to get that. You better pay some cover down corners.
Yes, sir.
That's a brilliant analogy, actually.
Man. We got no corners. I mean,
sound like the Eagles defense.
First of all, let me set something straight. Neither you nor Dale don't need to say anything about y'all team. Y'all ain't got no Super Bowl chip. The only people that can talk about Super Bowl chip is Ricky and I. That's it. Y'all sit down. Y'all be quiet.
That's true.
Right. Now on to serious business. Now, Ricky, you touched a chord with me because, fun fact, most people don't know my favorite president is Ronald Reagan.
We all know.
Because when I was a kid growing up as a teenager, I used to watch his speeches about how he was going to stand up to the Soviet Union and the different types of nuclear missiles they had and the number. He scared the mess out of me. So I thought Ronald Reagan was badass. So when you talk about missile defense, I know back during that day, Ronald Reagan was talking about the Strategic Defense Initiative, Star Wars. But then you know how that all ended up. There are some folks that I've read that believe that the moment a country comes up with effective missile defense to be able to stop potentially nuclear weapons or missiles, then it gives the idea that nuclear war can be won. Do you subscribe to that? Yes or no?
No. How do you distinguish hypersonic glide? Do you guys know what hypersonic glide is?
Now, educate me on that. Educate me on that.
So it's undefeatable today. So what they do is they launch, and you can put a nuclear warhead on it. We don't conventional warhead. Launch up high, up in the atmosphere, and they bring it down and they bounce it on the atmosphere, underneath the atmosphere, like a pebble skipping across a pond, and it goes in different directions. It's not, you can't predict where it's going to bounce.
Yeah, dog.
And then when it hits, when it wants to come in, it'll come in at 25 Mach, coming down at your ass. Right? We don't got nothing right now to stop that. China's got that. And they can put nuclear warheads on, they can do anything they want with it. We got to figure that thing out. And we're doing some of it. We've got our space and MDA's got the satellites called HBTSS to be able to track these things first. So you got to be able to see these things. These are going so fast that your terrestrial radars can't pick them up for fire solution because they're already passed. So it's got to be space-based. This quit the crap. It's got to be space-based up there. And why are we paying $100 million missiles, interceptor missiles, on the ground when we can do it in the space? It's going back to Ronald Reagan. It is. Because you can't afford to do anything else but that to stop that. But they have capabilities. We are working on that in Congress. Congress has demanded and put in law that they have hypersonic defense glide capability, 12 of those things by 29. But DOD and the president say, no, we're not doing it until 34. 34 is too late. 29 is too late. We all know the Indo-PACOM commanders, the last three of them, every year in testimony said China could take Taiwan by 27, and we need to have everything we got by 27, including the defense of Guam. That's why that's coming. So this is a different world. This is a whole different world, Dana. This is not old school Soviet versus the U.S. It's a combination of capability, and you've got You've got regional war where nuclear deterrence did not stop Russia coming in and kicking ass on Ukraine. Did not. Nuclear war is not going to stop China coming in and taking Taiwan. You better figure it out. And the only way to win this is with allies. We can't do it on our own. No way. We have to have allies. And right now, those guys got better alliances than we do. The Axis.
Yeah.
Because they're able to produce $10,000 drones collectively 24/7 and force us to shoot those things down with 200, 400,000, 1 million missiles. We're losing that race right now. We got to get our technology people, we got to roll. We got to get out of our fat and happy for the last 20 years and go threat-based acquisition. All right, so I don't know how we got into this, but you got me into this.
No, you good. Holy moly.
Yo, so quickly, follow-up question to that. When you said, obviously things are different now than it was back in the Cold War. Now, with respect to the American public, do you think the American public is prepared for this type
That's what I
of
was gonna ask.
climate that we're in now?
Well, I think the American public in America is going to have to make a decision whether we want to be the global power or do we want to just pull back and be a normal country, defend our country only, and get out of being a global world power. Those are the two options, man. We're good enough to be either one of them, but we're going to have to decide because China's coming. China's coming. And that's a decision our population is going to have to make. And they didn't grow up like we grew up right after World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the whole Soviet stuff. And this is not a Cold War. I mean, China, and this is just sad. History repeats. So an accident, and we'll have three. I mean, we don't want to go there. 3 or 4 years of destruction. We start over a new world order. That's how history goes. So we have to make a decision.
Hey, so Ricky, question on that. So I know America's been used to being the big bad bullies out there, or the biggest baddest. Do you think we need to check our egos at the door a little bit, and maybe we're not the biggest baddest anymore, and maybe this near peer competition is a lot more?
No, we're still the biggest Listen, we're still the biggest baddest. We still got the highest technology, and we can fight anybody and beat anybody right now, including China. But we're losing. It's like in a locker room. We're losing trust a little bit with our allies. What happened in Afghanistan? What's happening now in Ukraine? Not giving them what they need as an alliance builder. We got to be trustful. We got to be there when they want us to be there. And I think we're losing a little bit of that credibility in that. And where I see the other side is creating more stronger alliances together to create industrial stuff to beat us. But we have to relook at that aspect. How important is it for us to make sure Ukraine doesn't lose? Ukraine could lose next month, guys, on a May offensive. Good shot that if we don't help their ass.
So you talk about losing trust, like transition to the football field. Like, have you ever had a coach lose the locker room, and what happened to that locker room?
I've been out, buddy. I've won every season. I've been in playoffs every year. I have not been on a losing coach's locker room. I can third sight. I can be with my son who played 8 years on a couple teams like that. But I'm going to tell you how to win championships, and it starts and only starts and ends with the trust within the team, within the locker room, that you play for each other. You don't play for yourself. And that is enforced by the players in the locker room, enforced by the coaches. So when you have the ability to throw your entire talent on the field, a lot of guys won't do it because they don't want to show it all off, or they're afraid of throwing it off, or they're taunted, or they want to hide it. They're embarrassed about it. There's a lot of different reasons why people don't perform full together and don't want to rely on somebody else instead of themselves to win. So that's a very complex environment. It's the highest people in the world get paid to do this. CEOs, coaches, the highest, to create that type of trust inside the locker room. But the players inside the locker room set that thrust of execution. And then you get, Walsh never thought that you could have three superstars was the most you could have on your team. Any more than three would splinter off, and you couldn't handle. The three could be checked by the 50 other guys could check those three. That's his philosophy. You can see it because the superstars want to win the game by themselves, not give to the team. That's the biggest problem with the NFL. And if you don't believe in your quarterback, then you start trying to make plays on your own, and you get off the whole. And that's probably 70% of the NFL is like that.
Good point.
I love how you putting sports and military analogies together, because for me they hitting home, and maybe because I'm just a sports head, but for me they hit home as far as the quarterback and having trust with everybody. Dana, go ahead, Philly.
No, I was going spoken from the guy that compared the Dallas Cowboys colors to his.
I knew you were gonna say that. They got nothing to do with it.
But Prescott, he's not a superstar decision maker. He can't get beyond the playoffs. He can't.
That's true.
This is what, 2018?
Yeah, and the other people on the team are trying to win the game for him. That whole culture is not right.
That's right.
You got to get a culture.
Throw up some Mel Brown's question real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to throw out this question to you from one of our loyal listeners here from Samel Brown. Man, I can't see my thing. Okay, I got you. All right. So, question. Horizontal glide vehicles are game changers. China has the capability, as do we and several of our allies. Would you agree that because the U.S. and our allies have a preponderance of horizontal glide vehicles capability, that we still had a combat edge in that area?
We don't. We don't. China has tested 100 times more than we've tested. We're afraid to fail in testing. We've only done a couple. This is not equal. We're not equal, guys, on that division. We're not. We're behind it. That's why they're throwing the money they are on hypersonic strike with the Air Force and the Navy to create that strike capability. We don't have jack compared to what they've got right now. We got to get over this. We got to fail fast and keep coming at it. That's what they're doing. They're getting the hypersonic glides so they can take out the carriers, so they can take out Guam, so they can take out the forward operating bases in the first and second island chain. Take them out. And we don't have a defense for it.
All right. Del, what you got?
Yeah, I think this might be my last question, but what are your thoughts on segue into football and military and civilian sector, game changer versus game manager? That was a big topic that prior quarterback brought up, and some people thought that it was insulting. What are your thoughts on those two?
I'm all about game ballers that change the momentum of the game. They're very special, and you can AI this thing. That's the problem with this game. This game's becoming a damn AI versus AI. The little guy coaches reading predictability charts and pulling shit off the play. It's taken away from the game. The real players, the great ones, can feel that emotion, can feel where that thing is embedded, and step up and make the great play at the right time to change the entire energy of the game. That ain't no AI crap. That ain't none of that stuff that they're doing today. And that's special. And they shouldn't draft that out of there. You want, yes men that want to just do all this stuff and just read what the coach tells you to do on the thing? I've been in games, you could have the best play called with the best predictability, with all your charts saying 100%, and you fail to execute it on the field. And then you can have the worst damn play ever called and you execute it. There's got to be a combination between both, but the human factor far exceeds the AI factor and game managers. But that's chicken. I mean, Montana was never a game manager. It's a baller, man. Yeah. That's how you win. That's how you win in battles. You win that way. And where the league's going to have to go to win, they're going to have to go back old school, and the quarterbacks are going to have to get rid of their $6 million play callers, can them, and they got to call the plays on the field like they did back in the 70s.
Oh.
Become unpredictable and become what the feel of the emotion of the players in the huddle will tell them, hey, I got this guy. I don't got this guy. That's where it's going to come. But it won't start in the NFL. It'll start in somebody in college will do this to beat the system at some point. We'll create a college quarterback system. You understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome breakdown.
Yeah. Hey, Ricky, let me ask you a quick question. This or that type of thing. Would you rather the game be on the line and your defense be on the field on the 1 yard line, or would you
Hell
rather
yeah.
the offense be
What
on the
kind of
field?
question is that? Who you
Would
talking
you rather?
to?
You wouldn't rather? You would.
Talk to
You
the
would rather?
linebacker right
Wait.
here.
You would rather Joe Montana have the ball in his hands with 1 second left? You would rather defense have to stop him?
Hot offenses are like hot women, man. They are hot. And they can be cold, and dash. They'll give up the ball, they'll fumble, they'll do something effed up. No, I don't care how good they are. I got a defense, we shut it out. We win the game on defense. And that's what the 49ers didn't do on that Super Bowl. I didn't care what happened. Missed kicks, bad calls, whatever. The 49er defense was on the field in overtime to win that game. It was 4th and 2. And our most expensive player, our best player on defense, didn't do his assignment.
Yeah.
He went in for.
Well, let's not forget.
Game's over. But that's all you want.
Well, let's not forget they didn't know the overtime rules either.
Yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter. Again,
it does matter.
That's why you guys lose the game. It doesn't matter what happened before you get on that field. When you're on the field to win the game, you win the game, and that's in your blood to win that game there. So, yeah.
Okay, last one for me. Last one for me. Ray Lewis, is he the best middle linebacker you ever seen?
He's one of the top. I wouldn't say he's the best one. He's on the top. You know, I go back old school stuff too now. There's some old school linebackers like Bucket. I mean, it's set the linebacker position on that.
Yeah.
But Ray was a hell of a player, man. He was a hell of a player.
I just
you ain't getting off that easy. Give us your top 5 linebackers of all time.
Oh
yeah.
I can't, man. It's
all right. Well, just give me 5 then. Don't put them in order. Just give me 5.
I struggle with it because my defense for the 49ers was never recognized how great we were. Because we had a great ass offense. And I struggled. Hey, you know, defenses, because we watch all the other linebackers. I mean, Harry Carson was a hell of a player, man.
Harry Carson,
study his film on that aspect of it. But I don't know. I don't know, man.
I mean, Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis.
Well, that's an outside linebacker.
Jack
Lambert.
Outside linebacker. Yeah, you got to know your position.
Linebacker's a linebacker.
No. Thank you. Go ahead, Ricky. I'll just shut up.
You be quiet. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Hey, Dan, anybody can play on the, you got skill sets, you can play on the outside because all the shit's inside of you. You're in the middle, you got chaos, people all over you 360, man. You got to thrive in that environment.
He's been too far behind.
All I know is when the NFL does their top 10 linebackers, they don't differentiate between inside and outside linebacker. It just says linebacker, period.
Hey,
it says Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, Jack Lambert, Dick Butkus.
Hey, big guy. You think us in the locker room really care? It's a paycheck, right? Who's a Pro Bowl, what the press says? We know on game film who the hell the badasses are, right? Not the press, not you guys, because you don't know the game like we know.
You guys.
That's a little popular high school prom contest you guys are having. Who gets the most media stuff? But the ballers inside the locker room, they know who the ballers are. And a lot of them are those Pro Bowl. A lot of them are not Pro Bowl. All right?
Top 5 quarterback.
The Hall of Fame's become a popularity contest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll give you Reggie White. Give you Reggie White. He's legit.
He's a defensive end, though.
Defensive tackle, man. You don't even know your football.
No. Don't even play. Reggie White was an end. He was not a tackle.
Here we go.
I'm going to look it up right now. Reggie White was an end, not a tackle. Jerome Brown was a tackle.
However long that big hump move was the best. That move was phenomenal. That he created the hump move. I don't know if you guys know that when flip the 300-pound guys over.
Yeah, that's
nuts. Jerry Robinson.
As I said, Reggie White is a defensive end. Read and reap.
He played a lot.
End.
That's like
Rest in
Aaron.
peace, Reggie.
That's like Aaron Donald.
Hey, you
Aaron
be
Donald
quiet because you don't know what
Aaron
you're
Donald
talking
play
about.
ever.
Reggie White
Oh
is
my
a
God.
Hey,
end.
the best guys on the team. The best guys on the team are those big son of bitches in front of you, man.
Yeah.
And my
That's true.
and my hard hitting damn DBs. I mean, Ryan Lott bringing it, scaring people. We don't get to hit people anymore and put fear in them.
That's true.
Before they catch the ball. The leagues put that out of it. Part of the game is the drama of if these little skinny, wide receivers all talk and walk can take the hit, take the punishment. You think Jack Tatum lay a couple of these people out? They couldn't play today. Those receivers today, Odin Beckham get nailed like that one time with Monty and Jack Tatum, he'll never play he'd be playing volleyball, man.
Yo, so hey, what do you remember more? Like last second wins
That was his last question.
Shot. Last second wins or devastating losses?
No, you're not talking to a guy from the Dallas Cowboys.
All he knows is win.
What do you think? Man?
Hey, I don't know.
Who cares?
That's why I try to tell him.
I've won so many close games, I can't remember how many close games.
Yeah.
Won 2 Super Bowls, man. That's what I remember. And national championship, and 2 Rose Bowl championships, and the state high school championship. And they're all the same feeling. Invincibility. That's a team.
He said invincibility.
Ricky, did you play that game when y'all won against the Cowboys, Dwight Clark the catch?
No, I was not. That was before me. I'm the middle.
Oh, that was before you. Got you. So 5 top quarterbacks of all time.
Well, Joe. What do you? Why
Okay,
are you asking
Joe.
me that?
What
I
else?
played for-
Who else? All right, that's Joe. Who else?
Who else besides him?
Randall Cunningham?
No.
Lord, no.
You gotta go
Donovan
back
McNabb?
to the old school guys, man.
Donovan
You gotta go back to
McNabb.
those old guys, huh?
He said
Tommy
Donovan
McDonald?
McNabb.
No.
This ain't a Philly
Who
talk.
you want to
guys.
play for that you knew you could score no matter what? I mean, you can go all the way back to Namath and Unitas in the heydays. I mean, there's some quarterbacks that just rose and you couldn't stop them. You couldn't stop them when they knew they were going to win the game. Stabler, Bradshaw.
Oh, did you
Those are
just say?
quarterbacks that didn't matter?
Oh man. See, they don't. Do y'all, Pete? Del, do y'all know who Kenny Stabler is?
Yeah, of course we know Kenny Stabler.
No, he don't. I believe you know because you're a Titans fan. He don't
This
know.
is crazy.
This Ken the Snake
You know what I'm talking
Stabler.
about.
This is
You
crazy.
know,
Sky
they
Blue
played
Cowboys
for
fan
him,
over
right?
here.
They played for him like that. And Brady's legit. Brady, I'll give you some on Brady.
Okay.
So you said
And
you said-
Jalen Hurts.
Mahomes.
Jalen Hurts
All right.
legit. Jalen Hurts
No,
legit.
no,
They haven't
no.
won Super Bowls. Win
That's
a
right.
lot of them. Win a lot
Yeah.
of them. Okay, build your team around it.
Yeah.
Don't go one and out. One and out don't count.
Ricky, who was your favorite player or favorite friend on your team besides Ronnie Lott? It seems like Ronnie Lott was number one.
Ronnie's my guy.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this: you look up and look at Danny, look at this little checkbook, that thing there. Is there anybody that played in the same starting backfield or starting team for 12 years in a row? Starting. Anybody. Name me anybody.
Man.
12 years. I don't care offense.
Emmitt Smith?
Receiver, quarterback, lineman.
Emmitt
12
Emmitt
years.
Smith? I don't know. I have to
And
look.
who? Who's his teammate that lasted 12 years that they played together?
Oh,
Me
I
and
don't
Ronnie.
know.
Me and
Yeah.
Ronnie, 2 Super Bowl. I mean, he's got one more Super Bowl than I do.
That's a good question. I don't
It's
know.
a pretty badass little trade. So yeah, there's nobody else that comes close to me besides Ron.
Hey, there's also a
Hey,
stigma out there. Hold on, DC. There's also a stigma out there that defensive players hate offensive players. Now, you not on your team, but other offensive players. Like
Why?
you just don't like any of them.
We don't. You know what? We don't like them on our team either, by the way, because we have to beat them up. Yeah, we just don't like offensive guys. I never hung with them. They're all anal. They got to do stuff correctly and all that. We don't have to do any of that. We don't play by the rule book like they do.
Yeah, that's kind of like senior COs, and we got command chiefs. Like we don't really hang with them because they all stuck up and everything. They fly first class and stuff. Yeah, they go TDY everywhere. Like, but yeah, kind of same thing. DC, what you want me to throw up?
We just
The
better
Mel
athletes
Brown
than
put
those
up-
guys because we have to react. Those guys don't have to react. They're told what to do.
Hey, Ricky, you got to.
Look, that D-line's
Ricky,
better
you
than
got
linebackers better than running backs.
Ricky, you got a hater in the comments. Throw it up there.
Which
My
one?
boy
You
Samel
got a lot of
Brown.
haters.
He
Everybody
said,
off haters. You got to beat them
he
too.
said,
Yeah.
hey, Samel Brown told you, hey, Ricky, Samel Brown said, say Brady or you lose all credibility. What you say to that?
What did I lose credibility on?
He
Best
said when you
quarterback.
talk about
For
best
top five.
quarterbacks, he says say Brady.
No, he's wrong. I played with Joe. I just told you why. He wasn't a step back quarterback. He didn't have the rules of the game to play as long as Brady, and he got out of the pocket. He had more options to play. He's like the kid from Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
Slam dunk. Shit.
He said Patrick, my homeboy.
Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, yo, before we run out of time, I got two more quick questions.
Yeah, I got one question too. That just popped up.
Yeah.
Brady didn't
All
win that
right,
championship.
go ahead, Dale. You can go ahead.
All right, so there's been a lot of ruckus about field goal kickers. Do you think they should be eliminated from the game, or that's a part of the game that we should just live and die by the field goal kick for deciding games?
Well, you know, from a player that watches these guys, you know, kick 50,000 kicks in practice every single day or whatever, and that's all they got to do. They don't have to worry about anything else but kick a damn ball through the thing. In our locker room, it's like a chain. It's like a Darwinism. The big badass D lineman beat everybody else at the top, the kicker's at the bottom, and the punter's right next to him, and then the second string quarterback and all that other crap.
Got it.
You got to leave them alone because it's a mental state, but you got to be able to win games without them, and you got to be able to win games with them. So that's part of the game. At least there's some drama with that still. I just, you know, the game needs drama. The game needs to light up those receivers across the middle. We need to be able to hit a lot more than we're hitting today. And I'm going to just put one more point out there that nobody's recognizing, is that we're all not mentally retarded that have had concussions. Well, I've had 20 concussions. A lot of us, my age, have had a lot of concussions, and we're still functioning human beings, and we can still have a conversation. So don't put some status on us that we're mentally, you know, off, wrong, and that. But the game, we're just like you can run a 4.2 40. Can you sustain a hit? And the guys that can't run 4.2 40s or sustain a hit shouldn't be playing the game. They should be combed out of the game and not allowed to play the game. And that's not what's going on here. We got people physically that shouldn't play the game. They're allowed to play the game.
Wow. Good point.
That's how I'm old school, but that's how I, just like boxers, man. Right? People can, Muhammad Ali, those guys can take hits.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to make the game favorable to people that can't take hits.
Hey, so Ricky, before we run out of time, I wanted you to talk quickly about the Youth Impact Program that you're the founder of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a program, Dan, that you've seen. It's an American Dream program. It's what I experienced at 9 years old, and duplicating that to our inner city at risk, to put them between 9 and 12 years old around American heroes, American leaders, American cultures of winning, as of the military organizations and the universities that they've never been exposed to, and put 50 of them around 150 kids for 2 weeks straight. Take them off the streets, expose them to the university in their place, which they're not exposed to, and create the one word that we've talked about all the way through this thing: trust. Not be coming every day with same people every day, in ethos, and be able to do your STEM education, feed them, clothe them, treat them like kings, recruit them to be superstars. And you'll have out of that group, because they're hungry. They're not like the rich kids. They're hungry. You give them the access, you give them the role model, and you start that fire inside their little heart at that age, both girls and boys, and they'll never forget that. And they'll have that drive to get them through high school and give them the reality of dreaming big, being big, and living your dream, to give your dream. So we've done 49 of these in most of the inner cities in the United States, and we've been very successful with this combination. So it's different. We don't have any grants. We don't have nobody sponsors us. We're doing it for the right reasons. And we've had tremendous results on academic scores, on all of that. So it's an exciting program. We got 2 of them. We got University of Arizona with the girls program, boys program. We got 2 in Hawaii. We got Michigan, Detroit going, a couple others. But you got to give back. You got to help our country become a better country. And so that's one of the ways to do it.
Yeah, I'll co-sign for what Ricky said. I had the pleasure of participating twice as a mentor and having some of my troops participate in the Youth Impact Program at Davis Monthan and the University of Arizona. I tell you, man, it was breathtaking seeing how the young kids, they went through a full draft just like they do when they come in the NFL. Their names get called. They get called down to the front. They get their coach assignments. They meet their players. And in the beginning, it's just like any group. They come together first. They don't know each other, but then they work together as a team. My airmen that participated in it, they got even more than the kids out of it. It was like they were running to participate from grades airman first class up to chief master sergeant being involved in this program. And when after the 2 or 3 weeks, when they finish and they culminate into an award ceremony, just to see the look on their parents to change they see in their kids when they go through the program, and then the athletes, and you see a bunch of tears and snot flying all over the place. It's breathtaking. And even more importantly, these same kids that participate in the program still interact with their Air Force mentors to this day. It's a phenomenal program.
That's awesome. That's really
Hey,
good.
Dan, and then I would just tell you, we'll expand that program to go engineering on it. So we took the kids over the base, and now they come in the beginning of the program, and now they have to create an engineering project to create the base with electronics, with the whole thing, and they have project engineering teams made up of acquisition, building, timelines, everything. So you're forcing that kind of career that a lot of them fall in love with that. They didn't understand that. So we have those completed projects that are unbelievable technology-wise. And we're doing 3D printing. We're going to do balloons now. And near space domain is we're going to work with them this year. We're going to open up the program the 22nd, next Monday.
Awesome. Man, that's awesome. Congratulations.
All right, so that's good stuff, man. So last quick question, and then I know we're coming to a close. So we were talking about a lot of NFL stuff. I want you to give us your top 5 teams today that from 1 to 5 in the NFL right now. And I know the Eagles better be 1.
You know who's number 1. There's no question who's got the best talent in the damn league.
Eagles.
No.
The Eagles.
You got a culture problem. You're like Dallas. You're all beat up. The 49ers are the best team in the league.
Bro, come on, Ricky. Come on. No, be unbiased now. Come on.
It's a little biased.
Come on.
It's a little biased.
Come on. No, that's biased. Yeah, that's cat. That's cat.
You can't argue that, man. You guys, no, I don't.
No, come on.
Look at all
Not
the
Kansas City. Kansas City's the champs.
Yeah, there's a chance. You asked me who the best team was with the most talent. 49ers are definitely right now. Until somebody takes that talent away from them.
With Brock Purdy?
You know what they got on offense. You know what they got on defense. Come on, man.
Even with Brock Purdy?
Over there. Wake up.
I don't know if Brock Purdy's him.
So disappointed.
Detroit would be pretty good. You always
so disappointed.
You know, the formula back in my day was the team that lost the Super Bowl or lost the championship game would always be the next year's Super Bowl winner because they had
a good point.
Well, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work for us.
Those teams. Look at the 3 teams. The one that lost the Super Bowl, the 2 championship losers will probably be the top 3 going into next year to win it all.
Yeah,
I do like the Ravens.
I'm a big Ravens fan this year.
Yeah, but the quarterback took the problem with the Ravens is the quarterback because he took the game into his own hands. He didn't play within the team, and then you lose a team, right? He got to that position, and then he started doing his own stuff, and then the team done. You can't win Super Bowls like that. I don't care. You know, he could. You can't do it. They will never do it. He changed that. He panicked.
Now,
and went
Ricky,
on his own.
I took you as a stand-up individual. How are you going to say the 49ers? You know dang well they ain't the number one team in the NFL right now. It can't be.
Because they got the number one running back, the MVP of the entire league. They got the number one tight end. They got the number one receivers. Come on, don't go where you can't go. You can't go where you can't go.
Yeah,
Quarterback, we
you're
got the best defensive end. No, you don't. You can't match us. We'll beat the crap out of you. We beat the crap out of you in Philly. In your
all right, well,
place.
we go. That's all we have for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Unpopular Celebrities. Thank you for tuning in to Unpopular Celebrities this week. Yes, we're not going to talk about that.
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Bring it up, man. You can't face the reality.
I'm gonna go ahead and start to close out the show. But Ricky, man, thanks for coming on and give us your insight in the missile defense area and in the NFL area and culminating, bringing everything together with the Air Force as well. But I really appreciate you having on. Appreciate meeting you. I appreciate the stories. Everything was great. Hey, great guest. Appreciate it. And the dogs as well did great as well. Dale, what you got?
I know, right? Yeah, same thing, man. I love the analogies that you bring to make the audience understand about leadership and stuff like that, and transitioning and never failing. So I appreciate you, Ricky, and look forward to seeing your journey. And let's go.
Yeah, DC. Well, we got to do DC, and then we'll give it to the guest last, Ricky. DC will be quick. Hopefully, he'll be quick.
All right, so Ricky, even though it was a little bit of disappointment when we actually was the top 5 teams, you put the 49ers first. But outside of that, you were a phenomenal guest. Thank you for taking the opportunity to sit down and chat with us this Saturday. I know you're a busy man. You got all these different endeavors going on. Appreciate all the nuggets you dropped on the audience. And I look forward to hearing all the further exploits of the Youth Impact Program. I'm disappointed I won't be there in person. But yeah, as always, man, friend for life from me, man. If you ever need my help, I'm there. So again, I appreciate it, brother. And go Eagles.
Okay. Let's start with Dana, because we got Dana.
I took them off.
When the 49ers over the Philadelphia Eagles next year, ranking Super Bowl, you're going to wear everything 49ers. Every single thing on your body will be San Francisco.
You heard it here.
On the show.
You might as well just get a tattoo. You might as well get a tattoo. You might as well do the tattoo.
Move on.
Wait. Hold on. Is this a bet? Are we betting on there?
Let me just say,
I challenge you, Ricky. If we're playing the Niners this year and we lose, I will wear a piece of 49ers apparel and post it on Facebook. If the Eagles win, you got to do the same. Is it a bet?
Profile picture
where you're wearing it the entire time, so I can plug you the entire time for an hour. You don't get a little Facebook picture out there.
That's fine. We can do that. That's fine. It's a bet. It's a bet.
All right. Now, I want to say how much respect I have for the United States Air Force and their leadership. Like we talked about, Todd Walters and your biggest leaders. Hecker, and you're doing things. You're thinking through things. I think better than the other services. You've got to have some defense in your capabilities now to supplement yourselves. And you got CQ Brown up there leading the charge on this. And he's going to have to step up. He will step up. This is probably one of the toughest times of our history, these next 4 years during this presidential transition and the height of China and Taiwan. A lot of stuff can happen. And we have to have stellar leadership with poise that we talked about, making the right decisions under pressure at the right time. And it's coming down to that, everybody. No time like this has ever happened in our world, in our lifetime, where I think this is going to be on us, on you. So I appreciate it. It was a great conversation. It was like I treated you like a locker room. It was a locker room. So we covered a lot of ground. And we free-flowed it, and that's the way it is. That's the trust we have with you. So thank you for having a great storytelling and moving messaging. Whoever accepts it, doesn't accept it, but at least be able to flush out some ideas. And Pebble says bye-bye as well.
Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, Ricky. We really appreciate it again. Unpopular Celebrities. We out here. See y'all in 2 weeks. Peace. Oh my
Okay.
god. Oh my god.